All right. So in the light of all the sexual harassment scandals in Hollywood, the Weinsteins, Louis C.K. and the others, even Ben Affleck, responded to a Twitter accusation and apologized. Do you think most of the people are crying wolf? And do you think that it's the powerful people who actually do these things because they believe they can get away with it?
These actions, right, that people produce, like the sexual offenses, etc., right, if you can get away with it, right, you will. That's it. If you don't have to face up for your crimes, you won't. Especially when the entirety of society now considers it a crime. Before it was sort of vague, and I understand the blame on their time and stuff because, then it's less a rigorous kind of search for these kind of people. It was more like, hey, this guy, society sort of likes this guy, we give him a free pass for generally whatever they do, and it kind of stems into America's leniency on drink drivers who are sort of famous in the sense that, in that same time as well, you could be very famous, but you could kill 10 people in a hit and run drunk, and the policeman would essentially let you go. It's the kind of it's the kind of extreme bias that is favored to these people. But now, in a politically heated atmosphere, they are essentially becoming what's the term? Scapegoats, right? So it's just really their misfortune.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know I don't know how you can say it's their misfortune. It's not something they brought on themselves. It just happened to be very unlucky somehow. I think yes, when you are in a position of authority, you might do things you think you're gonna get away with. But I think it's not only that. Even people that are not in positions of authority, they still do these things because they can get away with it. And they're mostly male men. So, and I think I don't agree. Well, actually, I kind of do. I agree with Harvey Weinstein about it's something to do with the culture of that time. And I think, yes, they were able to get away with a lot of those things because it's a culture of, the man wants you, and I don't think you really have a choice, really. You just have to go along with what he wants. So I think maybe they're coming. I don't know. I think that's the thing. I think I don't know, but I see his point. But when you're not talking about are they crying wolf? I think yes, there are some people talking about the victims, and I think we're getting to dangerous territory here because we're not able to distinguish between who is really telling the truth and who is lying. I think some people are using this to get maybe they're able to get a chance in the limelight, saying, okay, so even if you touched me a couple of years and it was actually consensual, so you touched me, I touched you back, and we both liked it, but then now I just want to maybe get 15 minutes of fame, so I say, okay, yeah, he touched me. And I think we're going into that dangerous territory. We're not able to decipher who's telling the truth now and who's lying, and that is not going to benefit the victims somehow. So I think it's going to go back to this thing where we're back to square one.
okay.
And we would not actually. So now when someone actually comes and they say I was sexually harassed, there was some sexual assault, or I was raped, we're now doubting the victims. We're not believing their versions because we're thinking, oh no,
well, that can't be helped. I mean, you're right in the sense that it's difficult to distinguish who's telling the truth
now, because it's becoming this thing. What I mean by that is, for example, it's spread. It's not only in Hollywood, because in the UK as well, there's the Westminster scandal. So there's some MPs that things that there are allegations coming out about them and things they did before. And I think this guy, former defense secretary Michael Fallon, he resigned last week because, and the first allegation that came out against him that made him resign was because they call it knee-gate, because he was touching a female journalist on her knee.
Right.
And apparently that is sexual harassment.
Which brings us to the point, sorry to interrupt you, Ariadne. So what constitutes sexual harassment? What is sexual harassment? Because some women would tell you, if a guy is asking, oh, can I hold your hand now? Or can I lean closer now? They find it unattractive. Sometimes they want the man to take control of the situation, read their signs. And some men can say, okay, maybe I inaccurately read what she wanted from me. And I acted in this way, and then it becomes harassment. So what is sexual harassment? Because in this society, especially in Lagos, there's a lot of catcalling, there's a lot of fine girl, they'll pull your hand, there's a lot of stuff like that. So when is it sexual harassment?
Well, I think sexual harassment generally is it's unwanted sexual contact, right? That's it. It's a very kind of moralistic kind of phenomena where it has to do with people's personal space, personal opinions.
So the definition changes according to the person involved.
Yes.
But that makes it very difficult.
Yeah, it does. That's the point.
Unfortunately,
right?
fortunately, yes.
Sexuality is like a delicate thing, isn't it? Right? You can't you can't really tell. Okay, if a child, let's say a 15-year-old, 14-year-old girl, boy, considers some kind of contact with, let's say, any kind of superior to be sexual in nature, right? How do you go up to them and define for them what was and wasn't sexual, right? How do you exactly denote what they actually consider to be sexual, if that makes sense, right?
I understand what you mean.
Yeah. So in light of that, then it starts to when you blow it up, when you expand on that, you start to realize that actually anything that sort of triggers this kind of primal, this kind of anything that triggers sexual feelings, a general statement that
that's unwanted.
Yeah, and also negativity, right? You can just basically brand that as sexual harassment.
Ariadne wants to add to this.
Okay, but this is the thing.
Okay.
I might touch your knee.
Yeah.
Because it's maybe when I'm talking, I like to touch people. I'm not coming from a sexual. There's no sexual intention behind.
It could be flirtation. Could not be.
No, really. There's some people when they're talking to you, they slap your arm repeatedly. Yeah. There is nothing sexual about it. They're laughing, and some people, they're trying to make a point, so they grab your hand or they touch your knee. That knee thing is actually very, very common.
Yeah, but it's like a delicate.
Sorry, go on.
No. I was just saying it's like a delicate kind of.
This is
a communication.
Now, this is the thing. I might touch your knee, and you have no problems with it. You don't think it's sexual.
Yeah.
But then I will touch his knee, and he feels like I invaded his space. And maybe I crossed some boundaries.
Or maybe
so I think it
considers it flirtation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the problem here is I don't think we will ever reach a point where we would know. Actually, no, there's some cases where you would definitely know when you come to touch me and I say no. And I say no like 5 times, you keep trying. Yeah, I think we've gone past that point of...
That's an explicit...
yeah.
Not harassment per se. That's an explicit violation. It's that's confrontation.
Exactly,
right?
That one is but I don't think it's black and white. I think it's also, if we look at it from the point of view of the victim. So you might do something to me that I'm able to tell you off quickly, I find uncomfortable, and you back off. Yeah. I don't see it as sexual assault. I just think, oh yeah, invaded my privacy, crossed some boundaries, whatever, but I told you off and you stepped back. Okay, but then someone else might not be able to.
In this vein of thought, maybe we should try not to go too deep into like the relativistic aspect of it, because whilst it's not black and white,
but it's impossible not to. It's not black and white. There's so many colors in between. It's not just
some pretty dark shades. Whilst it's not black and white.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
And generally stay away from the dark shades, right?
Okay, wait. What are these? Okay, can you tell us the dark shades then?
Okay, sure. Dark shades are, there are societal laws and societal expectations.
Yeah.
Stay close to the margins, right?
Okay, speaking of that, we're in Nigeria. What are the societal laws and what are the societal expectations in Nigeria when it comes to stuff like that?
Yeah, that was
The lines are very, very
to.
blurred here. Very. They cross it every time.
Well,
every time.
there are societal expectations which are blurred. I think whatever is legal, right, is not blurred. Okay, but our legal, our legal language still goes deep into these dark colors. I think, right? Because okay, so let's say rape here.
Yeah.
I don't know the explicit wording, but I think I heard it once, and it denotes that, like, explicitly penetrative sex is rape, right? Unwanted penetrative sex. Yeah. And you're like, okay, that's quite explicit. Yeah. But, I mean...
That means women cannot rape.
No, women can.
No, that's what it means. You're correct.
Really?
Yeah. You can't rape me in Nigeria.
Oh, in Nigeria, okay, because I thought you...
Yeah.
Because he mentioned, penetration.
Yeah, so. Okay, I thought you meant generally. I didn't know... Okay, you are being specific to Nigeria. Yeah,
unless,
so women cannot rape you in Nigeria.
Unless it's been updated. I believe that's the last time... I think my dad mentioned this, like, because I was having, like, a similar argument about this with him once. Yeah. And he said, like, look... like, you can't be raped by women. I'm like, yes, you can. Rape is blah blah blah. Because I just like watched.
For the record, Dionysus' dad is a lawyer. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he hit me with the legislation like a spiteful lawyer would.
There is legislation saying that supporting this thing. Then.
Well, yeah. There's explicit legislation saying that, look, rape is.
So according to that, a woman cannot rape a man in Nigeria. So if you've been
argue for it, basically, yeah.
So basically, if you've been raped by a woman and you can't even go.
If I've been quote hands raped.
So, but you know what? No, okay, you guys think this is funny. Yeah, it's funny. No, I see that. But then, what about little boys that are raped by grown women?
Yeah.
They can't explain that. They can't complain to anyone. They'll be like, "You, what were you? I mean, you two, what were you doing there, Seth? Like, you probably."
That's the point. That's another thing with this, the whole gender.
This is the thing about harassment. It's not only girls. Yes, it's mostly girls. It's majorly women. The girl child that is at a disadvantage when it comes to matters like that. But there are boys actually that are raped, assaulted, harassed, whatever, and they have no one to turn to. Because no one's even going to believe you. They'll be like, you probably liked it.
Because the thing, well, we were talking about societal expectations. Your societal expectation is just don't get raped, and if you're unfortunate, you're screwed. Okay. So consider this, right? What's the state of mental health in Nigeria? Lagos, even, right? Okay, you laugh, but this is the exact kind of thing. We don't have the power to actually just update these legislative mishaps, these deficiencies in the system. We don't have the power. You can speak as much as you like, right?
Yeah, but it's not gonna make
you need to change.
Yeah.
You need to change several. I don't know the word. You need to change a lot of culture, of Nigerian culture, in order to update how we view mad people. You just see a crazy person, someone with mental illness, walking down the street. They're homeless. They're ill.
They're dancing. They're wearing funny clothes, or they're naked. Yeah, their hair is rasta.
What do you do? What do you do? You're just supposed to just dismiss them. They're mad. Yeah. They're a mad person, and that's
because that's the image in your head when you think of a mad person. Yeah, it's that person.
Now, there's also a societal expectation for male sexual encounters and female sexual encounters in Nigeria, right? Yeah. And one of those for males falls under, don't get raped by a guy. We're not going to talk about it. End of story. Right? Okay.
That's the thing, because
you don't have legislative protection.
The thing is, speaking of that, even with powerful people who sexually harass people, and because they're powerful, they think they can get away with it because maybe in past times most of them did. Would you say that there are situations where even powerful female people may have sexually harassed your
yeah.
male,
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course,
co-workers?
I think
Happens all the
And
time.
why do the males not report this as much as
Who's gonna listen
Well,
to you?
because they can't. Okay, so it's like I said before. It's a power game, right? Okay, you don't get to if there's legislation on your side, that's a form of power. You can exercise that power, right?
So are you saying there's legislation on the side of the people in power that abuse the power that they have?
Yeah.
Are you saying there is?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, what do you mean? Like for a woman to like take advantage of to sexually take advantage of her male?
Yeah, employee, and for a man to do the same thing.
Yeah. What if you have a houseboy and like you rape him? What is he going to do?
Okay, so is there actual legislation?
Yeah,
that
we mentioned before, like
yeah,
just on
but
that
is
one
there
thing.
actual legislation that will support me if I decide to take advantage of someone
Okay,
under
so
my employee?
You
that
seem
sort
to
of thing?
misunderstand. I think you're looking for something like it's legal to rape this person.
Yeah,
No,
actually, I am. I know.
No, such
I'm not
legislation
really, but
language
because you
doesn't-
said no, if you do that, there is legislation. So I'm saying, okay, is there really? I'd like to see something. If there is something, I'd like to see that.
But we just spoke about that in the sense that sex is penetrative, and you understand that that's a very specific kind of rape, and everything else falls outside of that, meaning that your lawyer and any lawyer, right, cannot defend any person who did not have penetrative rape sex.
We're talking about if it's a woman that is
Yeah.
taking advantage of a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
But
so-
if it's the other way around,
Yeah, so you can do as much as you want to me, right? In my sleep, you can drug me, you can do what you want, right?
really?
And as long as you didn't put a broomstick up my ass, right? It's not rape.
well, if you're following the
Do you
law
understand?
strictly,
Okay.
I
So now you
see.
might be
understand.
what it insinuates if you're following the law strictly. But even if you do try and take this, you would get that people be like, aren't you a man? What's his... there's this whole...
Yeah, but that goes to
masculinity
societal
thing in this
expectations,
society,
and that's where the
exactly.
PR game comes from. The power game is to do with like the legislation and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the PR game is to do with, which is also it's also powerful, right? But the PR game is also distinct in the sense that it has to do with your image, and that's what the Americans are suffering.
Yeah, say
under
big
right
man
now.
like you, woman rape you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then your image is...
Yeah, then you're screwed.
But for a
right.
woman, they're already seen as fragile. Say for a man, they're overpowering the woman.
Yeah, so a woman at least has the opportunity to become a martyr. As a man, you can only become pathetic.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is, yes, you are viewed as being pathetic that a woman would rape you because they're thinking, how was she able to overpower you, and do all of that.
Etc.
And you guys, yes, I see that for men, when they're victims, they don't really get, it's not easy for them, and there's no support system. There's no one, you can't even talk to your family. No one's gonna believe you. But no, women are not viewed as being fragile, not in Nigeria anyway. Because when a woman is raped, she's not actually seen as a victim in Nigeria.
Okay.
She's blamed for everything.
you
They
won
will,
this
so
case.
basically, they come up with every reason
was
why she
spaghetti
was
strap.
raped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More sleeveless.
I agree in one sense, but I need to try and combat that, right? I'm not trying to.
Are you gonna tell me? Are you gonna quote legislation again?
No.
Okay.
I'm not trying to like undermine the fact that I'm not trying to say hey I'm not joining the people who say hey she deserved it.
But you're going to
Whatever.
proceed to anyway.
I'm going to give the other side of the.
Other side of what
Well,
exactly?
Not the. I'm just. Hold on. Let me get there.
Okay.
So what you're looking at, the phenomenon you're experiencing there, is actually that man exercising his own PR game, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm not saying you made it sound like I was trying to like defend, but
Okay.
But like, could that be? Sorry to interrupt. Could that be more of the reason why people would want to bring you down? Because you seem, this is a. There's a lot of
Not
some
at all.
sort of jealousy and stuff like that. Oh, this is a rich man. Oh, he thinks
not
everything's
at
going
all.
well for
Not
him.
at all.
This is a chance for his image to be tarnished.
No.
Wait.
No.
And, we're
Wrong.
gonna
What
hop
are
on
they
this.
going to use to bring him down? The fact they're going to say, okay, they will believe the victim's story and use that to bring him down.
No.
Yeah.
I think he brought himself down.
No, you're talking
Anyway.
about-
Fair enough.
There you're mentioning what you're alluding to there is like fringe interests and then competitive interests, right? So like if someone wants to bring me down, it's either a competitor or it's just fringe. because if I'm an upstanding member of the community, then that means that I have a large fan base, and I have power, and I have resources, and I have several excuses to like lay out before me. Okay, and I have legislation on my side in this community. So then,
so it's easy. It seems like it's easier for a powerful man like Harvey in America to be,
Bob,
it was
Kevin,
the
list
right
just keeps
than
going.
in Nigeria. For that kind of things happen in Nigeria.
So what's happening in America is the phenomenon that their legislation is actively changing, and then their PR game is completely eroded by now because of the political atmosphere that's happened in America.
When you say political atmosphere, what do you mean? You mean because of Trump?
Oh, Trump is definitely exaggerating. That's a good
how,
point.
How does
He's
that?
definitely exaggerated.
Okay, how does that
but
influence
for
what's?
Nigeria,
Okay, Nigeria. I thought you were talking about America.
No, I was using like.
So how is that affected? How is that? I don't know. How does that have an effect on what's happening? There in Hollywood. How is that?
Sorry.
You said that because of the political atmosphere.
Yeah.
How is that connected to what's happening now in Hollywood? The whole scandal.
You don't think that we share like a global polity sphere, right?
No, we do, but I'm talking about the Hollywood scandals, the sexual assault thing and the political atmosphere thing. I don't understand how.
They're more like illustrative as to the kind of they're comparative. We're using them comparatively to our own atmosphere here, and then we will eventually probably mimic what's happening there, right?
You think?
I believe so, yeah.
Like how many decades?
Well,
centuries?
That's a very hopeful person.
No, seriously, because this is the thing.
Don't wait for it. It'll happen as soon as
Wait, happen when?
There's going to be a larger egalitarian kind of movement that happens here, probably, right?
Could you just say that in English?
Okay, so egalitarian. So egalitarian is like the people who push for equality in all circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it actually goes like quite ideological in some sense. So you can have like Marxists, neo-Marxists, but let's not get into that.
Okay.
Right? So it's going to happen that in Nigeria. Okay. Also, depending on how it turns out over there, right?
Yeah.
And I assume that what's going to happen is they're going to end up more left-leaning than right. Okay, of course there are.
I don't know, because a lot of these people that are being accused are left. They're liberals. They are the liberals. Well, now they're saying all these liberals are sexual predators. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but that's
so. I don't know. I don't think it's going. It's going very right for the left.
That's the right-wing reactionary.
Right wing.
Again, that's politics.
No, there was something sort of slightly dubious about her.
We will get there. We will get there eventually.
Yeah.
So final statements on sexual harassment, as a reflection in our society. When do you think is going to be more of an issue here? And
I don't think it's ever going to be an issue here. I think earlier we're talking about people in power and how they use, they abuse that power. They use it to do whatever they want to do. But we're not actually, but apart from those people in power, people get abused daily. You don't have to be in power. It could be an uncle. It could be your dad. It could be someone's mom. It's people It happens here. It's very, very, it's almost common. And that's very scary. I don't think it's ever going to be an issue here because you're never the victim. Because even if you get touched inappropriately by your uncle, they will tell you did something.
Okay.
And then, so I don't think it's ever going to be an issue here. I think it's something that it happens and we're just expected to accept it and we move on.
All right.
I don't know.
Final words, Dionysus?
Well, I think it is going to become an issue in Nigeria.